In today's video, we're gonna work on making our own homemade bouillon powder, specifically a vegetable bouillon powder made from home, a vegetable bouillon powder made from scratch that we're gonna use things I have around my house, but also use a base of ingredients that I typically put in anything that I'm looking to put in a stock, like onions, celery, carrots, and garlic. In addition to that, I have a few other things we're gonna throw in there. Most of us at some point have bought either a broth or a bouillon powder from a store, and the ingredients are whatever. Sometimes, they taste good. Sometimes we want or need to customize them to better suit our dietary needs, our eating preferences, and things like that. So me personally, I want to make sure that I know kind of what's going in. I want to control the salt. And honestly, I've been able to make seasonings at home that end up being this sort of superpower for my kitchen that I want to be able to add to all of my meals, or as many meals as, it works for the seasoning. So let's go ahead and get started preparing our vegetables. To get started, I'm going to work with these carrots. I've got celery here, garlic and onions, like I mentioned. And then I have a bunch of Roma tomatoes right now, so I'm gonna use 6 in here. And then I also have frozen bell pepper. After we've got all this done and taken care of, we're gonna go ahead and cook it. Now, the reason we're going to dehydrate this is because I want it to be a dry, shelf-stable food, and dehydrating is the way to get that done. So in order to prepare it for the dehydrator, obviously I'm gonna make sure everything is washed up. I already washed up these. I'm gonna peel these, chop. Those are already prepared because they were in the freezer. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get it in this big pan here with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter and cook them first. From what I understand, cooking them before you dehydrate them allows them to blend easier from a powdered product into whatever it is you're making. In addition to that, a lot of times when you dehydrate stuff, you want to already have blanched it because it kind of slows the breakdown of the food and helps to preserve it for longer. So it'll accomplish both of those things by cooking first. I'm just gonna go ahead and speed through all of the preparation of these vegetables. But one thing that I really want to convey is that this project, first of all, is an experiment. I have not made this before, but I am really determined to do like a really good bouillon seasoning. And I think this is gonna be a pretty good start. So once this is all done in the dehydrator, what we'll do is get it back in the kitchen here and make our powder. So it's not just gonna be what's in here, but I have some other seasonings that I wanna add from my spice cabinet. And so we'll take a look at that at the very end. So I'm just gonna speed through, get all this done, and then we'll get sauteing. Another thing I've noticed when doing some research for making my own homemade bouillon powder is by looking at what's available in the store. What are the ingredients on those containers? There's a lot of intensified, flavors of all kind, but including salt. You'll get MSG in there, and that's just, again, it's an intensified sodium flavor. A lot of the other ingredients are concentrates of other things. I'll see yeasts on the ingredient list, but also just concentrates of vegetable juices, or I'm trying to think offhand, but you just go and you look at those ingredients and you see a lot of them are very concentrated flavors. The dehydrating process that we'll go through, that's what we're doing. We're concentrating the flavor. When you take out that liquid, what's left is so concentrated. And if you've seen some of my other dehydrating videos, like I do salsa, I've also just flat out dehydrated tomato and made a tomato powder. And that flavor is just so good. So I'm hoping by getting all of this put together, concentrating those flavors, tweaking the seasonings, we're gonna come up with something really great. For these onions, because we're not gonna be eating the onions themselves, I'm not gonna make them massive so that they can cook down and dehydrate in a decent amount of time, but I'm not taking too much care to make them super small either. So I've got 4 onions peeled here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and chop them up and get them in the pan. Here we have about half of the veggies in the pan, and the other half completely filled one of my large baking sheets. So this is gonna go in the oven at about 410 degrees, And then the pan is just going to cook on a medium high. I went ahead and added all the vegetables back together in the pot, both the ones from the oven as well as obviously the ones in the pan here. And they looked about the same. The ones in the oven had a little bit more darkening just around some of the corners, but aside of that, they pretty much look the same. And I think I'm going to be able to spread it out about this thin on each sheet. I'm using this silicone liner just so that stuff doesn't fall through. We're going to put these all 6 trays, fill all 6, get them in the dehydrator for, well, I'll set the timer for 18 hours. I'm just going to let it go and then check on them. So it's nighttime. I'll check on them in the morning and just kind of see where they're at and then let them go if they need to go. If not, we'll be back to get the rest of the bouillon mixed together. Here we have the vegetables all dehydrated. They were in for about 24 hours. The reason I left them go a little longer is because this phenomenon with the oil on there made them seem like they weren't quite done, but they definitely are done now. And I noticed that the tomatoes, you know, they finish quicker because they're just thinner. Anyway, so you can kind of go along and snap them and you'll hear them crunch. One thing that I decided to do, because I'm not really sure how it's going to work with the oil, is I am going to put it in my food processor first and just kind of see how it grinds up, because my other tool is my Vitamix. Now the thing with the Vitamix is stuff can kind of get compacted a bit in the bottom if it's, you know, got too much moisture. So I just kind of wanted to see how this acted in the food processor first before I went ahead and put it in the Vitamix. That's the other thing that really is so nice about these trays, the tray liners, I should say, is that it makes it really easy. And then you just go ahead and wash these and they're ready to go for next time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all these into here and then we'll see what it looks like as we get blended. This is definitely proving to be a little bit tricky. As you can see, it kind of, you know, the oil is a factor here, but it smells amazing. It's just not maybe breaking up quite as much into a powder, but I bet, you know, a person could even put a little bit more oil in here and kind of lean into the paste aspect. I think what it's gonna actually, what this is wanting to get me doing is I'm gonna take another run at this, and instead of roasting the vegetables first, we're going to just put them in raw. The oil in here definitely weighs it down just a little bit, but I think with a few runs through the Vitamix, it makes a pretty good texture. You can see how sometimes companies will add things to kind of help separate out the oils and stuff like that, but we're gonna roll with it. And as I was thinking about different seasonings, I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to mess with this too much. I tasted it, tastes really good. It's like a super good roasted sort of meal taste to it. So I think it's gonna be really good for throwing on vegetables and cooking those, or maybe tossing some roasted vegetables in this at the end, just because it doesn't need to be cooked again, but definitely in soup, anything like that. I don't know, there's just lots of stuff that we bake and also cook on the stovetop that throwing this in, especially towards the end of cooking, is going to be good. And so I really wanted to leave it relatively unaltered. So I put a little black pepper in here. I'm also going to throw a little turmeric in there, and we're going to call it good. And you could see that when I had it in here before, it just kept kicking the blade out. So that's why I had to ultimately, I was kind of forced to move it into the other machine. So that's what we're gonna call good. I'll get this in a jar. I'm probably gonna keep it in the fridge just to maintain some of the freshness. I'm excited about it and we're gonna get using it. I hope that you try something like this. If you've made bouillon and maybe you see something that I did that you're like, oh, if she had done this differently, then it would have been better, or you know, whatever, please share that kind of stuff because we can all learn from everybody's experience. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day and we will see you soon.